Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society with me, Gert Tief, coming from Africa this time, having a fantastic time, lovely weather, lovely people, great food. So of course, after a long day in the sun, you have to come back to something special. Now, I did try to go to some of the local shops to find some decent whiskey, not really easy to find here. Johnny Walker Red Label and a couple of blended whiskies on offer, so I was not interested, but of course I did come prepared. And from the thumbnail I assume you know that I'm looking at a nice sample of the Kavalan Solist Sherry Cask bottle at 58.6% ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. Now, quite expensive one, even for the sample was not cheap. So but I've been looking forward to this one. I've always wanted to try it, but it was always a little bit too high and too expensive for my wallet, and my credit card refused to come out of hiding when I want to buy it. So in this case, it is a lovely color to it. Quite looking forward to giving this one a nosing and tasting. I'm just going to be stingy and only take half. Maybe while I do the review of the video, I will drink the other half. So it is natural color, and as soon as I poured it already, this lovely flavors is coming out. Definitely that sherry monster is coming out. And of course, especially, and even with this big glass that I'm using, that alcohol is just kicking you in the face. And it is just intense. It's lovely. It's sherry. It's sweet. There's even a little bit of a perfumey note. And I get a little bit of a mint. That minty freshness that's come out with like a cooling effect on the nose. It's intense, it's spicy, it's sweet. There's a big woody note in it. When you look at the whiskey itself, there's a big viscosity to it. It looks oily. It looks like something that you're going to have to chew. There's a raisin note coming out. There's a little bit of a dark chocolate and something like the raisins covered with dark chocolate. That lovely sweetness coming out. I get a little bit of an orange note, something like a preserved oranges with heavily sugar-coated oranges. And not every time, but I get a little bit of a funky note coming out. A little bit like a damp cloth. But not every time. Just a hint of that. A little bit of a strange one, but I do like it. Definitely loads and loads of vanilla. There's also a little bit of a toffee note. And I think that goes with that chocolate, the raisins, the dark chocolate. But it does settle down quite fast, especially on this wide glass. So it opens up, that alcohol is not so intense anymore. A little bit less on the wood. Oh, but it is so, and it's getting sweeter and sweeter every time that I go back. At oakiness, like a little bit of a dusty oaky note. It's like walking into a woodwork shop. A little bit of a dusty note. And now get a little bit of a pipe tobacco, rum and maple tobacco note coming out. Oh, this is lovely. It's absolutely a beast on the nose. I'm going to have to be very careful. It is 58.6% ABV, small sips. Cheers. It is lovely. It's sweet, intense, that spiciness is still coming through. Be careful. I think it is going to be possible to drink it like that. But I would prefer to give it at least a couple of drops of water. This is a little high even for me. It's got an intensity. It's got a lot of sweetness. It's spicy, and with the alcohol it's quite hot. Once it covers your mouth, you are just left with a lovely sweet raisin dark chocolate note. Absolutely fantastic. Let me try again. A little bit of a toffee note, a little bit of a creamy note, a little bit oily on the mouthfeel, and a hint of oak coming out. I didn't expect that. No age statement. Let me just make sure. Bloody hell, this is nice. There's definitely a little bit of an oaky build up, but not much. And more into that dark chocolate, maybe a 70% cocoa dark chocolate. So there is a hint of a bitterness, but I think it's quite necessary to have that little bitter note just to calm things down a little bit. Otherwise, I think it will be a little bit too sweet. Couple of drops of water. I don't have much here. I'm just going to try maybe. It's about half a teaspoon of water that I'm going to add. Just give it a little bit of unhealthy shaky with the water. I did add just a half a teaspoon, maybe 2.5 mils. So not a lot of water, but it did kill that lovely, intense, spicy, sweet note for me. It's less sweet. There is a little bit more vanilla now on the nose. But I think with the water, it's a little bit one-dimensional for me. There's not much in it. I much preferred that high ABV that gives me all of that lovely flavors, that intense flavors that came out. With the water added, cheers. Even with that little bit of water, it becomes a little bit lighter for me. That dark chocolate and raisins note is still there. Less of that sherry sweet notes coming out. A little bit of a toffee note, I can still get that. Quite drinkable, but for me, I would have preferred to keep it at that higher ABV. Drink less, smaller sips, but that lovely flavors for me is just fantastic. So of course it's up to you. You are the one that's going to pay a lot of money for this whiskey. You drink it the way you like to drink it. Let me just give it one more chance. Oh, it is lovely. But of course, I'm not 100% sure what the full bottle is going to be. I paid about 12-13 euros for a sample. I will do some digging when I do the editing, and I'll put somewhere in the description or somewhere over here to tell you how much you're going to pay for this one. I think it's going to be a lot of money, probably 150. Well, I don't know. I will put it in the link somewhere. So that's me on the Kavalan. I must admit, I'm glad I got to try it. I do like it. And that makes me think I need a little bit more sherry, sweet whiskey in my life. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I see you next time. Cheers.